So, there's a popular YouTube program that interviews various guests by having them eat chicken wings that progressively get hotter with each question. We are doing exactly that. We have 8 chicken wings and 16 questions asked by the staff. So we will eat a wing, I'll ask a couple questions, and then we'll repeat the process.
If I die before I eat the rest of the wings, I don't have to answer the questions?
I'm really not sure this is a good idea.
Might need another one of these.
Cheers.
Well, they're pretty good.
Okay, I can handle that.
That's good. Maybe we do just those ones.
Which Golden Girl is your favorite?
I don't remember the name of a single Golden Girl. I'm sorry.
I think there's like
But I forgot her name.
That's Betty White.
That's Betty White.
Yeah, she played Rose. Yeah.
So that would be her. Yep.
I'll go with Betty White.
Blanche. I'll go with Blanche.
Have you ever played a musical instrument and or been a part of a choir?
No, that would be a really terrible idea. There's no choir that would ever want me as part of their choir. I can't play any musical instruments at all, unfortunately. So.
Well, I took guitar lessons when I was a kid, and I wanted to be a rock star, but my parents wanted flamenco, and so that didn't last too long. But at that time, also, school had required orchestra, and so when I was in elementary school, I took a year of viola and a year of French horn. I also, just in the last month, started taking piano lessons. I like singing, obviously. Musical theater was more fun than choir. There were some issues in high school with my choir teacher that I could go into later, I suppose, but that's a story some people know and some people don't.
Never been part of a choir. I auditioned for an a cappella choir in college, and I was still waiting for that callback. But I do play musical instruments. I play guitar and I can play the drums. Well, it's got a little kick to it.
If you can only eat one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Sushi. Sushi for sure.
Naomi makes these Korean rice bowls that are pretty amazing. I think if I could have one meal to eat for the rest of my life, they're varied enough so it wouldn't be like just like having a big steak, which was, something I'm thinking about, but like after a week, I think would be kind of tiresome.
I'll go with steak. Yeah, sounds good to me. Carnivore diet.
Oh yeah.
You're a damsel in distress. Which of the two doctors is the hero and which is the villain?
Oh dear. I'm a damsel in distress. Who do I want to be rescued by? And who is the villain? Oh boy. I think I'm gonna have to go with Todd as the villain and Adrian as the knight.
Oh. Well, that's really hard. I don't know. They both are heroes. Do I have to choose one? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I guess Adrian would be the hero. David would be the villain.
Todd can be the hero. David can be the villain. Just because I think he'd do a better maniacal laugh. He would nail it.
My lips are starting to burn.
What is one of your favorite inspirational quotes?
Riding the Peloton as much as I do, all those folks have different quotes. But one of them would be, "This ain't daycare."
I prefer humorous quotes. I am serious, and stop calling me Shirley.
I can't remember it verbatim, but Muhammad Ali said something along the lines of that he didn't win the fight in the ring, he won the fight running all those miles and training in the lead up to the fight. So
Another one likes to say, "I am, I can, I will, I do." I like that one.
Looks like I picked the wrong day to stop sniffing glue or...
If you had a very rude patient who just wanted to argue with you, what would you say to them with no consequences?
It has to be words. It can't be
You can do whatever you want.
actions. Silence is golden. Duct tape is silver.
I have two partners who are much better doctors than I am, and I'd be happy to have you see either one of them.
But I say like, shut the fuck up.
I just want to have them see somebody else. That sounds much better than telling them to kick sand.
Depends what they said to me. If they like said, "Oh, you're like," I used to have a patient. Okay, now you got me talking because I've had a beer. But I used to have a patient who said, "I don't even know why," because I usually say at the end, "Does this make sense? Do you understand?" And I had this one lady, and she goes, "You never make sense. I've been coming here for 9 years. You've never made sense." So I'd probably say something to her like, "Okay, well, stop coming here." Yeah. Or, maybe you should see Dr. O'Malley. He's much smarter than I am.
Ready?
No.
Yes, my lips are tingling a little now.
Oh my God, this is really freaking hot.
It kicks up a little bit.
Yeah.
If you were stranded in the desert, what 3 items would you bring?
Water, some sort of clothing, probably chic-like to protect me from the sun, and a warm jacket to sleep in at night. Oh, wait, no. And a satellite phone to call someone and say, hey, come and get me.
Right? Some way to collect water. Something to signal for help. Mirror or something like that. And tarp. I can hide under.
Hide in a mirror, people.
Stick my arm out and reflect sunlight at people's eyes far away that they can come and help me.
My wife. Why is that funny? A phone and water.
Out of all the medical specialties you could have pursued, why did you pursue retina? Did you have a second choice if retina didn't pan out?
This is really spicy. Can I get another beer?
This is a total front of the mouth one, right? It's like tongue and lips.
Yeah.
Oh my God, my mouth's on fire. We're only halfway through.
Yep.
Sorry, I'm getting distracted. What? If retina didn't pan out, I was going to do cardiology before I did retina, so I probably would have done cardiology. I chose retina over cardiology because it seemed more interesting. I could work with a greater variety of patients. You could actually make a bigger difference instead of just treating chronic disease all the time. You can make people better.
I mean, probably a lot of people know my dad does retina, or did retina. He's retired now. So I was always exposed to that. Having said that, I didn't go to medical school presuming that I would do ophthalmology or even, or even specifically retina. I just got caught down. But, I guess I had exposure to it, wanted to try ophthalmology, really liked it, and within ophthalmology, definitely liked retina the best. I don't know that in medical school I really had a second one I was thinking about, to be honest with you, once I decided on that. No, not really. I didn't want to do, like, OB-GYN or anything like that, so I'm pretty happy with a little clean eyeball.
I was going to be a neurosurgeon, and I had everything pretty much set up. I even had a residency that I was probably going to. And I had a month off in the summer between a surgery rotation and what was going to be anesthesiology. And one of my friends told me, don't take anesthesiology, it's boring. You just watch people do stuff. Do ophthalmology, it's really fun and easy, and you go home early. And I thought, I like to go home early, so I'll give it a try. That's how I got into ophthalmology. And then retina, I was pretty convinced I wanted that right from the beginning of ophthalmology because it was the most connected to other things that are happening in your body. It wasn't just this isolated world where you live only with like cataract surgery and dry eyes. You had to think about other stuff you learned in medical school.
Okay. This stuff is hot.
Oh, this one's sweet.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. Oh my goodness. We're going up from there?
Oh my God, this is so freaking hot.
Wow. You really, you went from like,
What is your favorite childhood memory?
My favorite childhood memory. The thing that came to mind first was when my sister was born.
At a camp, a soccer camp we went to every summer in upstate New York. And they had British coaches come over, and it was a really cool camp. And they had a juggling contest. And I had this kid that he always beat me by just like a few. Like every year, he beat me by a few. And the last year that we went, I set the camp record and defeated him all at the same time. And that was pretty awesome.
I guess some favorite memories. I still remember as a young kid going to Yellowstone and Grand Teton with my family. That was awesome. I had some great summers in Ireland as a young kid. Out on, jeez Louise, out on the sheep farm that my dad was born on. Sorry, I can't even really talk. Some great memories there as a kid, staying with my grandmother out on that farm and my mom's parents out in town.
Is there anything that still makes you nervous or intimidates you in your career?
You know, I'm always a little nervous when I have to take board recertification. Like that, we had to do it a few years ago, and it's like anything, right? Like you study and you know it, but then you get there and you're like, what's the answer to 2 + 2? Right? Like, what if they think it's 3?
It's probably less accurate to say there's things within retina that make me nervous or intimidate me. More accurate to say there's things that are still difficult and disappointing.
Maybe like bad PVR, like that makes me nervous. A bad surgery, a mess of a retina. Yeah, it makes me nervous. Okay. Bad diabetic.
We all, unfortunately, the only ones that we think about are the ones that didn't do well. Like I forget the 100 people that did great. The one person that didn't do well is somebody you just mull over them and. I'm watching to see how you do.
Let me take a little one.
Yeah, that's fine. You know, they say the little ones are the hottest, though.
Sorry. Yeah, that's not good.
What is your favorite non-Latin description of eye pathology? For example, cotton wool spots, mutton fat, etc.
I'm sorry, it's hard to think right now. Yeah. Wow, that sucks. Sorry. Red eye. I don't know. That's all I got right now.
You know, it's really a shame there isn't like a chicken wing finding, because that would be my favorite. You know, maybe candle wax drippings. It's a post-inflammatory finding on the retina that looks like waxy deposits.
How about Krukenberg spindle? It's a pigment on the corneal endothelium, and people have pigment dispersion.
How did you feel operating your first surgery?
Terrified. And no, it was pretty scary. But well, the first surgery of consequence would have been cataract surgery. Actually, the first procedure I did was probably more scary. The first procedure I did was treating endophthalmitis. And it was just a tap and inject in clinic, but I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know how the person was going to react. And it hurts, right?
So my first surgery after fellowship was at night on a local psychologist who needed a scleral buckle, and we were doing it under local, and he totally freaked out, and with the eye with sutures around his recti muscles and everything going, we had to convert him to a general anesthetic because he was freaking out on the table. And it was like at 8 o'clock at night after a full day of seeing patients. That wasn't fun.
Very nervous. No, I mean, obviously when you kind of worked your way up. Sorry, that was really crappy. I mean, really hot. You've worked your way up, but still, the first time you're doing it on a real person, and it's a real eye at stake, and it really matters what happens. You're pretty dang nervous, very nervous. I remember having like a knot in my shoulder. But yeah, so super nervous. I mean, obviously it's kind of exciting, but it's nerve-wracking as hell. You're responsible for somebody's vision, yeah. You screw it up, they can't see. Cheers.
Yeah.
Zombie apocalypse? I like that one. I would like put that on stuff.
What would current you tell your 20-year-old self?
Learn a language. Like I know some Spanish, but really learn a language.
Live more. Do more things. Don't study so hard.
Relax, it's not a tumor.
Don't worry so much about other people think about you. I think when we're young, we all spend, it's what I tell my kids, you all spend so much time worrying about what everybody else thinks about you. And then you get older and realize, yeah, I don't care what everybody else thinks about me. But you can't, there's so many things you can't learn through living them. You can't tell a young kid that. They think that. But if I could go back and tell my 20-year-old self, yeah, don't worry so much about others think.
What is the most awkward moment you've had during your medical training?
The most awkward one was one that was witnessed by someone here. The patient, after we were finished with her treatment, says, "Can you come here? I need to tell you something." And of course, I slide closer thinking, oh my God, she's got cancer. And she reaches out and tousles my hair, to the chagrin of her daughter-in-law, who was sitting in the corner, who was immediately horrified.
Two of them. One was the very first time I scrubbed in on general surgery. I scrubbed, as a medical student, I scrubbed with the chairman of the department, who was a real a-hole. And for somehow, I don't know how I did it, after I first contaminated myself when I was gowning up, then somehow when we were doing something called the Whipple procedure, which is for the pancreas and the lung procedure, and he had a bar with all these clamps, and somehow toward the end of it, my elbow hit the bar and all the clamps came off. And there was silence. And then he looked at me and he goes, "Don't worry about it, man. We were done anyways." And that was awkward.
I mean, I remember this was here. I had a patient in the operating room downstairs, and we finished surgery. We patch up the eye, and we wanted to get off the surgical table. We sit him up, and they wanted him to walk over, get over to the chair to leave the operating room. And the anesthesiologist says to the patient, he's like, "Okay, you see that chair over there? The guy covers up his other eye. I can't see anything." It's like, no. It wasn't an eye test. The guy's got a patch on it. We just want you to walk to the chair. So things like that are funny.
When I was in San Diego, and I diagnosed one of the hospital administrators with syphilitic retinitis, and he had to be admitted to his own hospital to be treated for neurosyphilis, which is pretty embarrassing.
And then there was the time I was delivering a baby and I called the woman a whore in Spanish because I thought I was telling her to push and I was calling her whore. And the nurse who was with me didn't say anything until after the baby was born. Then she said, "You were saying punta, punta." I'm like, "Yeah, I was telling her to push." She goes, "No, that's empuje. You were calling her a whore." And yeah, that was awkward. And that's probably why the husband did not look at me fondly. And then I went back and I apologized and they all laughed.
Cheers.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's like hot sauce with hints of an ashtray.
Oh my God, this one's really hot. Oh my God, this is really hot.
Maybe this is a cure for coronavirus. You just have to inject it. Yeah, that one's pretty good.
Feeling it?
Yeah.
Sorry. That's really, really bad. Oh my God. I'll try it tough. That's horrible.
Oh my gosh. All right.
Would you rather spend one day in the past or one day in the future, and why?
One day in the past. Because I don't necessarily want to know the future.
I think one day in the future. I think it's because I want to see like crazy cool future technology and fly in a spaceship.
You know what I did one day in the past? I'd go back to the day I proposed to Jackie. That was a good day.
That's sweet.
That was a good day. That was a really good day.
I really want to go one day in the future because I feel like I can read a lot. Gosh, that's terrible. I feel like I can and do read and learn a lot about the past, but there's nobody and they can tell me what the future's gonna be like. And I don't know, aren't you always just a little bit curious, like, what the heck are we human beings gonna be up to 100, 200 years from now?
For sure.
So the future, because just out of curiosity.
What are your thoughts on 2020?
If we can survive this year, we can survive anything.
Well, that's good for visual acuity. You know, pandemics suck.
I think we're all ready for 2020 to be over with. I think that it hasn't been a great year, but on a personal level, I count myself to be one of the super lucky people in 2020. I have my wife, my kids, they're all awesome. Everybody's healthy. We're all fortunate that we still have we have a job, we make a good living. I feel terrible for the people that have lost loved ones that are sick. I feel terrible for the people that have lost businesses and livelihoods and are struggling to get by day to day, even though they're not sick. So, honestly, the politics has been a little bit insane, and probably shouldn't get into that. But personal 2020 it's not been a great year, but I feel like of all the people out there, I'm pretty stinking lucky. So, not great, but I'm lucky. My mouth is literally burning.
We've all been through a lot of stuff that I think no one expected 2020 to have. And I think we've come through it really well, actually. You know, we're working, you know, with all the different restrictions that we have in ways that I think are extremely functional. I really appreciate all the effort that everybody puts into it. I think it's a tough year. And, you know, I haven't cried quite as much as this, you know, yet, but
For the staff, for the office, is that we are a family and we get through things together and we support each other, and we do what it takes to support each other and get through adversity. And this was a pretty adverse year. Knock on wood, hopefully it doesn't get any worse.
and hoping 2021 will be better.
Great job.
Awesome job.
Awesome job. That was cool.
Wow, that last one was pretty hot.
These are
I'm
sweating.
mild. Like I'm sweating a little bit. And do you like hot sauce?
No,
You just ate all of them.
I know, and I feel your pain.
Yeah, your face is red. You're
I
like
did.
sweating a little bit.
They are getting spicier. Like, I'm starting to feel a little
little
something.
kick, yeah.
I'm getting a little something in the back of the mouth here.
You look like you're suffering. You okay?
No.
Who put you up to this?
Well, Melissa recommended this, so I'm blaming her.
Yeah, my tongue is on fire.
So we're starting, what's the next one?
So it's this one. So it's
So pain 100% is the
Uh-huh.
next one.
All right. Shall we dig in?
Is there like a pain 50% we could try? Or
You know, I think Dr. Spinnick might be a really good doctor. He's so much smarter than I am. No, I don't know. Did I just say that?
Well, wait a minute. Do I like bad guys or do I like good guys?
I'm literally, like, I'm not making this up. I'm like a little tingly. Like, my lips are tingling, my hands are tingling a little bit.
over.
Yeah, this is weird.
It's wild.
Yeah.
It feels like
There's no magic mushrooms in any of that, is there? Oh, that last one was called colon cleaner. That's nice.
How's the yogurt?
Good. So I'm gonna put my whole face in it.
Oh, no.
I'm gonna be full. I want to eat all.
Here's your dinner.
I don't know if this is the same company, but I would assume it is. Dave's Gourmet. They used to make and maybe they do now. I don't know if you found it when you were looking. They used to make something called Dave's
I can
Insanity
smell
Sauce.
this hot
I have
sauce.
it.
Oh, you have it.
I gave it to Adrian.
Oh, you gave it to Adrian. Okay, I was going to say, because I'm familiar with this company because of that other one. But
Yeah,
I guess
this is the much worse version.
Woo!
Excuse me, barmaid. Thank you.
I'm starting to feel a little delirious, but that's okay.
I know. Me too. I'm sweating. My lips are numb.
Like,
Are there timeouts on this? Can we take time out?
Just chopping up jalapenos for my guacamole
Right.
before I left for golf. And
Because I was supposed to be going and play golf then, and you said, "Oh, will you just chop up the stuff for the guacamole real quick before you go play golf?"
Yeah, and he ended up getting juice in his eye, and it just, oh, I mean, it was,
And
oh
in
no,
my
his lips too, and they were starting to swell up, and anyway, he had this paste full of yogurt, like all around.
And then aloe vera.
Aloe vera.
And then
yeah.
you go, why aren't you going to play golf? I'm like, I can't go play golf. I got aloe vera all over my